The bullish arguments. Let me go through them again in the order that I will start with the from here. There is usually weaker arguments, and as the width of the lines indicate, we're going to be getting towards the better and stronger arguments. So first argument, I have one of the chain on-chain metrics, and both of these are pretty well known. One is pi cycle top indicator. It's basically an indicator that tracks two moving averages in the past 2014, 2018, and 2021. They intersected, and every time they intersected, it was around the top. And there is no intersection whatsoever anywhere close. Another one is the MVRV. It's the market value to realized value. I would expect, based on the previous values, I would expect the top to be around this fat red line as I drew it, which is actually about 3, which is about the MVRV equals 3. But we had only like 2.5 or so, and we actually topped again in the March 2024, right here, right?
So realized value is the sale price, right?
So realized value is the value that has moved on chain.
Even if it wasn't sold?
Even if it wasn't sold, yes. At the time they last moved.
So Bitcoin's not moving much, is it?
Yes, it was moving the most around the cycle tops.
Yeah, I agree. This is bullish.
Although again, I have to remind that we had more of these indicators a few years ago, and many of them failed and didn't trigger in 2021, and people didn't sell. So that's why these are less followed today. But the market, the MVRV, is something that actually did trigger it showed the top in April 2021. That was 60,000. I'm not sure you remember, Curtis, probably you do, 63,000 Bitcoin. Even though we had 70,000 Bitcoin in November, it was not moving, not nearly. The MVRV was nowhere near. And that's what also caught people off guard. They were thinking that, well, we're gonna go higher. MVRV, and we didn't. Okay, the next in line is the logarithmic regression. So yeah, I will be keen to hear what Curtis thinks about log regression. So log regression is probably self-explanatory, and as the fair value of total crypto, basically, it's now showing higher. The total value the fair value is over 5 trillion, at least based on this calculation. This is the log regression calculated by AXP on Twitter. He's made this, I think, in Python. He's running this on his computer as a script, I think.
So what's the current total crypto market? Is it 3.78? Is that what the blue line says?
At the very today, it is 3.78 exactly. Yes.
And is that the blue line? That's what the blue line is showing?
It's this blue line here.
And we should be at 5.2 according to the chart.
That is a fair value. That is the fair value, but we should go into overvaluation. In 2021, we went look how high over.
Yeah.
And look in the past. Look in 2018.
So it's all relative. There's no other way of calculating fair value. They're just saying this is reversion to the mean, right?
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, this is bullish. Yeah, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum could drive this very high even without the altcoins. I think the altcoins are going to be left behind, if you understand, generally speaking, what I'm referring to as altcoins. But I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana could drive us into that green line. It would basically be a doubling from here. What is the green line total? What's that number?
Curtis, this is
15. Wow.
15 trillion.
Okay. So that would be, that would be Bitcoin going up like to 400,000. So yeah, that's not going to happen this cycle. It only happens in a hyper nation state adoption, Bitcoin at 500,000 and Ethereum at 10,000 or whatever. That's the only scenario that'll happen.
I would like to also compliment you that you said a Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. I think you have picked these because they're getting the treasuries, right? Solana and Ethereum.
Well, it's going to be winner takes most. I think like with most technology, Dave, you only have a few winners. And at some point, you don't need the other 10,000 coins, right? So it looks like Ethereum, like Bitcoin's locked in. Ethereum is going to take the the banking coin like the USDC, USDT, and that's going to win. Solana looks like it's got a lot of support, but you don't need that many coins. You don't need the other 8,000, 10,000 coins. So it will be a classic 80-20 rule where 20% of the coins or fewer will take all of the market cap. So it'll be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and a few more, maybe some surprises, but the rest will be just a long tail of very small market caps.
Ripple has also treasuries.
Yeah, XRP, sure, I guess. Yeah, let's say the top 10, but you're not so you're going to have those coins take all that value, and therefore to get to 15 trillion, you would need Bitcoin to triple or quadruple, and same with Ethereum. And totally possible, but I wouldn't say it'll happen in the next couple years.
Yeah, I would expect that currently however, that this red line, the fair value, is going to be touched or intersected.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is something that happened in March 2024, in December 2024. So that is something that I personally am looking for.
Easily, and that could happen by
that itself is over 5 trillion. So let's say if it happens, if it's the next year, it's probably 5.5 trillion. And of course, we could also go a little bit into overvaluation there. So then it could be 6, maybe up to 7 at most, in the most bullish case. And as for the coin picks, you're probably right, Curtis, in this, that the winner takes most. I am personally thinking it's going to happen with Doge and some meme coins as well. I know it sounds retarded, and it is retarded, and that's what's been happening all this time. People have always just said that it doesn't make any sense that stuff like Doge should have a value or should go up in value, and it always happened. And we see that already. BTOG is the first Dogecoin treasury, and they are basically they're starting. And I think more will come, and I think also Pepe and stuff like that will also get treasuries. It doesn't make sense, it's absurd, and I think that's what's gonna happen. The absurd is gonna happen.
Yeah, that's possible.
Bullish. Okay, now I have the others. This is the others index. It's crypto total market cap excluding top 10. And this is their dominance in percent. The percentage is here. We were 8% when I was doing this sample. I think this is really the reversal. And it could be a W. W meaning that it could be this. But eventually, I think this is reversing. And I think that where this could be going is to retest this very powerful, this is 10 years trend line right here. This is actually quite bullish for the smaller coins. And now when we see finally like Ethereum strong and Solana kind of also strong, also Doge was pretty strong. When we see this, I think it's going to again cause some kind of a alt season hype where even the smaller coins are going to be getting some love, if you follow me. And I think this is coming. And I think this is coming probably into 2026 or early 2026 or something like that.
There's just no use cases. It's really, I mean, I don't know any, I can't even, they used to come up, we'd use this for all these different reasons, but I don't see any. I understand the value of true DeFi, but that's not even necessarily coin specific. That is a technology issue that you can have DeFi within that space, even, which I see as legitimate. But even within that, you don't know which coin is going to win that, or whether it'll be co-opted by a chain like Solana or something else, right? Like, so I don't see. So certainly it could go to 12%. I just don't have an argument for that. Other than hope springs eternal and people are greedy. Like that totally makes sense. But I understand they would just purely on liquidity and small market cap and on a relative basis, they outperform. But I'm wondering if people are getting tired of these other 10,000 coins out of the top 10. I'm wondering if there's much patience for it. I still don't see use cases emerging. Do you?
Yes, there are some, because in this basket of all excluding top 10 are also privacy coins, and the privacy coins has a legitimate use case, especially for the people from China, Russia, just BRICS nations, because they need the privacy coins to move their capital. They can't do it through banking. Like, it's very difficult to move money through or from China, from Russia, and the privacy, and they can't use Bitcoin because it's just so transparent. It's
Yeah, sure.
oh,
So it's Monero, you're saying?
Monero had some technical issues recently. There
Yes.
are others. Yes,
But which one?
there is Zcash, that's another old and kind of battle hardened
Yes,
privacy coin.
I'm aware. Yeah.
You know,
So one thing would be do is, okay, what is the total addressable market for privacy coins? Personally, I love the idea of privacy coins and the use case
me
for
too.
me, but I'm a very unusual person in that sense. And 99% of rich people, let's say 95% of rich people, are not interested in privacy. They are including their personal data and banking. Everything is regulated and fully. They use Gmail, right? They don't even use something like Proton Mail. They don't care. They use credit cards, and so most wealth in the world is not seeking this. It's definitely the alternative crypto people that wanted that privacy. So it's a very small piece of the pie. I think it's really important philosophically, but I wonder how much demand is there. If it's, let's say, 5% of Russia and China, then maybe there is a fairly large addressable market there. And perhaps in the future, this demand emerges for more privacy. Then it'll be, again, which coin will win, because we don't know. Like you're saying, Monero maybe has troubles or other coins have troubles. So you have to then say, if that use case emerges to be very, very large, let's say a couple $1 trillion globally, which coin is going to win that and how, right?
So it's the winner takes most as well in the privacy.
Don't you think?
Zano is one of the small and new ones, and they do something new as well, because basically it's like a smart contract platform. You basically can launch coins on that. So stable coins on Zano are private, all of them. And
Right.
private stable coins, I'm not sure if there is yet an alternative. I'm not sure if there is any other. Next, a bullish argument is the BTC funding rate history. So basically just want to show you of the past year, or actually, no, from March this year, so not a whole year, we have not had excessive funding for a Bitcoin. Just wanted to break this up. Inflation, I think this is pretty bullish, even though I think it's bottomed. Inflation, I think, bottomed for now. I think the bottom, there is core CPI, headline CPI, the blue and the purple is the core CPI. It's going up already, but I think this is acceptable if the inflation stays like this and goes up really slow.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, so they say 2%, 2%, 2%, but actually the Fed rate, or like real inflation, has only been at 2%, I think 15 years ever in all of history. So they never really get there. If you get mid threes higher, maybe you get worry coming back, but
yeah.
I think we're going to sit around 3%, and I think that's fine. It's not a problem.
So far, I also see this as bullish. This is the Q2 earnings. I know that we are at the end of Q3, but just to bring up the Q2 earnings, 81% of companies beat estimate.
Yeah.
This is the recap from JP Morgan. So
yeah,
JP Morgan for once. So just want to bring it that the earnings, I think, are quite strong, really strong. American economy is strong. This is the Q3 GDP expectations. This is a strong argument, very fat line. Plus 3.4% for Q3 expected GDP growth. That is bullish. That is bullish, in my opinion, very bullish. This is this is something special, and we used to talk about this in years, almost 2 years ago. It's surreal to think it was that long, Curtis, with you and Sonny doing a podcast
What is
together.
it?
S&P 500 divided by M2 money supply. This chart has never overtaken the dot-com bubble peak because there is, so much bigger M2 supply. There will be some kind of a volatility, like the moment when we come to this top area, there is probably going to be just reading the chart. Also very interesting is that we came back in 1997, 1998, we came to this level and we corrected, and then we actually went higher, and the same happened this year as well. I just wanted to bring up this chart that we are going to be at the top very soon, and we are around the top at the very moment already. And I think that when we break this top, I think I have started looking differently on this chart. Also, given how much wealth is on the world, how much more wealth comparing to 2000. And also we are starting the AI revolution as well. I have drawn this parallel channel, this blue parallel channel, and I think there is like 40% or so, and that would be like S&P 500, like 7,000 plus 40%, that's over 10,000 S&P. I just wanted to bring this up, that this is the chart that we never took out the top. And once we take the top, I don't know how difficult will it be to take the top out. Another bullish argument is this is S&P 500 this year, and this is the correction in 2025 and the Q1. And this is what many people are doing, so this is probably gonna work. That's why I have a very fat line here. So when you measure the fib, when you do a fib measurement of that correction, the first fib level is basically 6,958, and I think that's where we're going, and for sure, almost for sure. And that's still, well, it's only 4% from here though, so we're almost there, but still we have not taken that top, we had not taken that level. I think this is bullish. And last two is basically taken from the other channels. One is Silvaco. They have many bullish arguments. I just cherry picked one, and another is from Tom Lee, who is, by the way, nothing kind of but bullish, but he's also very strong arguments, and he has been trading very well over the past years. Silvaco, I just cherry picked this argument, which is basically showing that this is percent of those stock above 150 DMA. And as you can see, we went to this green line in Q1 this year. We touched that green line, and then we basically instantly rebound to this blue line. So it was like very volatile also on this chart. And when this case actually happened in the past, like actually every single time, in 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years, we were actually higher for the S&P.
A lot higher, not a little bit. Look at that.
Yes,
average.
In 1 year, it's 20%. In 3 years, 40%. In
that's
5
huge.
Years, that is very huge, and that would be actually this. What they are showing here would be kind of like my chart that I shown a while ago to you. Like once this top is overtaken, there is a quite a long
right.
Way, like they can be
long. The average is plus 20%, and that's twice what the typical S&P annual returns are, right?
Yes.
So basically, when it's bullish, it's very bullish, right?
Yes.
When you say that the S&P averages 8 to 10%, yes, but in good years, it's typically 20, right? It's rarely exactly 8%. It's usually minus 40 and then plus 20, plus 20, plus 20. It's rarely actually 8%. And this is showing it's averaging, 17% within 1 year.
So this is very bullish for 2026. And in my presentation that I have aired a month ago, I was giving you different arguments, and both bullish for 2026. So 2026, I am kind of contrarian when it comes to many crypto 4-year cycle people, because they are saying that we are having blow off top right now. and the next year will be 70% the bear market for crypto. So basically what I am not in that camp. That I demonstrated that with selling Bitcoin fully at 121.5 thousand. I've done it publicly, call it on the channel, sold it for myself.
There's two things here. Remember in 2023 and 2024, the bears were saying, well, the Meg 7 is doing all the work. Remember, just it's the only reasons the S&P is going up is because of Apple and Nvidia, right? And it was so concentrated. And remember Zulaf saying this is a big bear argument because it's so concentrated in Meg 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now we've seen a broadening. Now all the stocks are running up. They're all above.
Mm-hmm.
There are many large, let's say half of them are hitting new, they're getting above their averages, right? And so that argument is another one that's faded. It's no longer just the Meg 7, right? And this is extremely bullish when you have a large percentage of stocks in an uptrend.
It's basically, they have indicated, Silvaco Capital have indicated it with this blue line. So it was this point in time, this point in time. And then
Yeah,
you
look
see
what happens. Yeah,
it
there you go.
corresponds like the start of 2024, and it corresponds with the end of 2020. And we always had a run up after,
Yeah,
always
yeah.
had a run up after.
Well, it makes sense
But
because strength leads to strength, right?
this is just one of the arguments from the Silvaco. I definitely recommend them. Also, Curtis has been following them. Curtis 13-folded his portfolio. So whatever Curtis is doing has been working longer term.
I think so what I don't do deep research in one sense. I don't do deep technical analysis and I don't even do so much deep research. What I do is I piggyback off of people I really think I trust and I think are smart. And what I do is I'll take something Tom Lee says and I'll compare it to what Silvaco Capital
Yeah.
says. I'll then look at a bear argument and take three examples. I'm then just choosing who I think is right. Some people were calling me a perma bull, but it was more a case of I was just agreeing that the bull argument was stronger.
I have also brought Tom Lee here as a bullish argument. This is one of his arguments again. Go and watch his work for more. He's here showing some AAII net bulls. This is a sentiment reading. I do not follow the sentiment reading. I don't know how accurate it is or how good, but Tom Lee has been trusting it. So, and he's been around for a long time. So it's definitely, there's something to it for sure. And he's been showing that basically that we have still, even in spite of being so high up in the prices, like there is still more bears for like, this is the bears and this is
Isn't that
the,
interesting?
it's going to intersect soon. So the bulls will be more than bears, but just look in the past, like the more bulls came, like the whole or most of 2023, there were more bears than bulls. And
Yeah, for
then
sure.
bulls came to the dominance, and it was 2024. Whole 2024 was excellent. So again, I think this is very bullish for 2026. Very
Yes.
bullish.
So you've become a full-on bull now.
I am bullish for 2026, even in spite of the jobs being concerning. But that could bring a Q4 sideways, as I have been saying. That would be the best for me as well. One more guy that is very bullish. I have not brought him here. His name is Mel Mattison. He is quite bullish. He's very bullish. He's basically kind of everything bubble theory. He's like 15 years of experience trading, investing. Not only he's so bullish, but he also can flip bearish for a moment, meaning he did flip bearish for Q1 and he was super correct there. He's very bullish gold and Bitcoin at the same time. He says that one has advantage over the other and vice versa, like they both make sense. He's of course very bullish S&P 500. He is very big proponent of the AI revolution. He is basically saying also that the US can't go default. They're going to bail out themselves out. They have the money printer, calling within the next 10 years, sometime within the next 10 years, 15,000 S&P 500 That's also what Tom Lee is saying. He's a bull who can even flip bearish pretty well, and that's very valuable. You should give him a listen when you have the time.
Yeah, I'll take a look, yeah.
So those were all my bullish arguments. I have not made a conclusion. It is the best if you make a conclusion for yourself. Just look at the bullish, look at the bearish, like Curtis does it. Conclude for yourself, what do you believe in more? And invest accordingly. None of this was, of course, investment advice. And thank you very much, Curtis, for coming. And I'm looking forward for our next update sometime in the next Q4.
Okay, thanks, Dave.